Hello, Friars! Due to the current global pandemic of COVID-19, the World Health Organization, as well as several governments, have come together to encourage and enforce self-quarantine. This includes both adults and children alike to have to work and study from home. Now, notably, people don't realize how much of an effect self-quarantine has on a person's daily lifestyle and/or activities, as well as their mentality. Now, I'm not saying self-quarantine is going to turn you into one of those crazy people from an asylum from a horror movie, but I will be taking a closer look on how self-quarantine affects a person's mental and emotional state, as well as their daily activities. The doctors have found the following symptoms in people who have been previously quarantined, including symptoms similar to PTSD, depression, anxiety, high tension, emotional disturbance, low mood, and much more. On top of that, students have to cope with the stress and have to find self-motivation to complete and keep up with their schoolwork.
So quarantining has been stressful for me because human beings are social creatures, and so we like to be around other human beings, but it's difficult not to see other people. And the e-learning has been stressful for me though, because we didn't exactly transition into it. We mostly were just thrown in all of a sudden, right? A root immersion. And so I didn't use Blackboard extensively prior to this, and so I'm having to learn a lot in a small amount of time. For the e-learning, students are learning skills and teachers are learning skills that we didn't have previously. Also, I think students and teachers are both learning to be very resourceful in their learning and how to figure things out on our own, and that'll be a good skill and give us confidence for the future.
It's also suggested that being in quarantine can cause a lot of tension, not only because of the amount of schoolwork and getting used to the new e-learning system, but there's just something about being in the same house with the same group of people for long periods of time and not being allowed to do what you normally would do, such as going to school or hanging out with your friends, that can leave you feeling angry, aggravated, annoyed, etc.
And so school has actually not been too bad. I actually quite enjoy the time that I get to spend at home and doing other things for myself. But what has been really hard is, one, extracurricular activities, and that's really been hard because I'm so used to being so active, and doing nothing is just awful. And then staying at home has just been crazy. I have not enjoyed it by any means. I don't know, it's just really slow and it's starting to drive me crazy. I'm losing my sanity.
In quarantining in general, we've seen a lot of families enjoying their time together, and so that's a blessing. Also, I think we've seen and heard from just the population in general that there's a lot of care and worry for our vulnerable populations, and so that's a very pro-life attitude. So I like to hear that from even some politicians that we don't usually hear that from, and so I think that's very encouraging.
This is another reason as to why doctors believe there's a lot of sibling rivalry. I can see where they're coming from. But remember, it's always good to take a break. It can help uplift your spirits and clear your mind during quarantine. Maybe read a new book, pick up a new hobby, learn to cook or draw. The possibilities are endless. If you need any ideas, go check out the Across Campus YouTube channel and go to the section called eCampus. Many of the other Across Campus members have created amazing stories with tips for e-learning, things to do in quarantine, and much more. Hopefully now you have a deeper understanding as to how being quarantined can truly affect a person. For more content and amazing stories, go check out the BL Across Campus page. This has been Valeria Lopez, and I'm reporting for eCampus.